Amazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs. And your children shall be like the stars above, because my God be the watchman of this nation. Amazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs. And your children shall be like the stars above, the Most High God being the watchman of this nation.
All right. Only freedom will give the Amazonian people the justice they deserve. Only independence will give the Amazonian people the justice they deserve. Only freedom will give you justice. Only independence will give you justice. Only freedom. It's only the freedom of the Amazonian people that will give the Amazonian people the accountability they want. Without freedom, there will be no justice for Amazonia. Without independence, there will be no justice for Amazonia. Without freedom, without independence, there will also be no accountability on Cameroon. I was doing some research today, and I read a quote. War is an extension of politics using other means. War is an extension of politics using other means. Secondly, they said, it is extremely difficult to solve political problems using military force. Cameroon occupied Amazonia since 1961. Every arrangement that was made, they have violated the terms of those arrangements in order to entrench the occupation. They have replaced every institution we have with colonial occupation institutions. They have replaced every Amazonian leader the Amazonian people voted for through their own systems with systems they have created, with crooks, with thieves, with thugs, with murderers, with assassins, with arsonists, with rapists, with terrorists as colonial and occupation administrators. The pain that we as a people are going through today yo, yo, give me 30 minutes, I'll hit you back. The pain that we as a people are going through today is as a result of the occupation imposed on our people. The purpose of Cameroon's occupation, primarily, it is because of the wealth that Amazonian has. It is because of the extraordinary abundance of Amazonian natural resources. If the Amazonian territory was like northern Cameroon, where you can't grow anything, they have nothing, Ambazonia would never have been occupied. You are being killed because of your wealth. You are being killed because of your resources. You are being killed because you are endowed. You are being killed because you are wealthy. You are being killed because God gave you a land filled with abundance. You are being killed because Cameroon wants to dispossess you so that they could take over your land, take over your resources, take over your abundance, take over your wealth, and they can use it to maintain the occupation, use it to fund the terrorist military and security forces, use it to buy the international community so that there will be no accountability on Cameroon. That's why you are being killed. That's why our women, our girls, our mothers are being raped. That is why Ambazonian males are being targeted. That's why young men are being taken away from their homes and slaughtered and dumped on the streets. That's why our uncles, our brothers, our fathers, our grandfathers are in Cameroon concentration camps. They declared war on us because they thought we were the previous generations. They thought we were the Frundis. They thought we are like the Diongutes. You rose up because you want something better. You rose up because there is something inside of you that understands Cameroon's presence in our territory is an existential threat to our collective survival. I didn't tell you that. Your instincts told you that. Your experiences told you that. What you've lived through informed you. Sure, Ayaba did not tell you that. Julius didn't tell you that. You didn't rise up because Dr. Cho told you to do so. It wasn't because of the lawyers and the teachers. There was a spark. You felt the threat. You felt the danger. You sensed it. Your gut feelings. God, your creator, told you it's time. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba also rose up because it's time. Honorable Joseph Weber rose up because it's time. General Ivomba rose up because it's time. Efang rose up because it's time. No Pity rose up because it's time. Aruke rose up because it's time. Capo rose up because it's time. Sumanguru rose up because it's time. Kumbo rose up because it's time. The forces in Manu rose up because it's time. The forces in Meme rose up because it's time. The forces in Fako rose up because it's time. The forces in Boyo rose up because it's time. Forces in Menchum rose up because it's time. The forces in Ngoketuja rose up because it's time. The forces in Momo rose up because it's time. The forces in Mezan rose up because it's time. You rose up because you are sick and tired of Cameroon's occupation. You rose up because you're fed up. You're fed up being a slave. You're fed up being treated as a slave. You're fed up living in poverty. You're fed up living in misery. How can you be so rich, so endowed, yet you're so poor? It doesn't make sense, does it? Why should you inherit the first democratic system in Africa and be occupied by a people that couldn't feed themselves? And even after 60 years, 64 years after independence, they still cannot feed themselves. "64 years after independence, Cameroon cannot clean the garbage on their own streets. 64 years after independence, they cannot produce simple aspirin, simple paracetamol. They can't provide their people with basic drinking water. You see why they're killing you? Because you started off with a better system, a better governance system, a better political system, a better education system, a better economic system. That's why the morons across the Mongo are killing you. They know what we are capable of. They know what Ambazonia is capable of. And they know what we could become. Because if they allow us to develop and put all this intellect and knowledge and experiences and hard work and ingenuity and creativity, if we put this collectively into use, we will become an industrial economic superpower. And La Republique will become what? A fucking shithole. So they apply the tall poppy syndrome. Since I cannot develop, I cannot make progress, I cannot govern a state, I cannot build a state, I cannot empower a state, let me destroy you, because your progress will make me become a coward and stupid. So by destroying you, even if I'm nothing, at least I've proven a point. Mr. Biya and Diongote, the colonial occupational authorities of Cameroon, declared war on the Ambazonian people. 80 years going. Where is Cameroon today? Is Cameroon more developed? Is Cameroon more peaceful? Is Cameroon more stable? Mr. Biya and Diongote declared war on the Ambazonian people. 8 years going. Is Cameroon more peaceful? Is there peace in Cameroon? Is Cameroon more secure? Is Cameroon more stable? Is Cameroon more economically vibrant? Is Cameroon more developed? Is Cameroon more advanced? Is Cameroon making progress? The answer to all of those questions is no. So, what was the essence of the war? If declaring war on the Amazonian people has not helped Cameroon, is not helping Cameroon, arrogance, arrogance, stupidity of the highest class. Because a bunch of morons got together. They call themselves Power God according to spiral dynamics, a branch of study I've mastered over the last 15 years. Mr. Beer and his gang of thugs, they looked upon themselves as power gods. They don't care about consequences. They don't care about the implications. They don't care about the effects of their decisions, of their policies, and of their actions. Power gods do not give a damn about consequences. They don't give a damn about the effects. They don't give a damn about what the world thinks. Power gods feel they are untouchable. They don't think before they act because they don't give a damn about the consequences. Because it's all about them to prove that they are a superior set of people. Cameroon declared war on the Amazonian people because Cameroon, through its arrogance, believe and feel and think they are a superior being, they are superior beings, they are a superior race, they are a superior tribe, they are a superior group of people who have the right to annihilate, to kill, to murder the Amazonian people. Because according to them, there will be no consequences, there will be no accountability, because they've done it before with their own people. They killed 400,000 Bamilikes. Bia and Ayijo orchestrated the scheme with the help of the French. 400,000 Bamilikes were killed. And they suppressed the nationalist aspirations of the Cameroonese people. And that's why they have created a banana republic, a kangaroo republic, a puppet state. Where violence is the primary tool of governance. And they want to replicate that experiment in Amazonia. And they've met a more superior set of intellectuals, a more advanced set of people. This is the reality Cameroon cannot understand. We are a sophisticated group of persons. We are complex creatures. We understand the world. We understand the various models of the world, the 8 spirals of society. So we know what's going on. We understand Cameroun more than they understand themselves. We know Cameroun more than they know themselves. That's why, after 80 years of declaring a war on the Amazonian people, the people who declared that war cannot speak anymore. They can't face the reality of what they have created. Mr. Biya is living in hiding. Dion Gote is living in hiding. They can't talk about the conflict because the consequences are here. The reality of their actions is here. It's time to face the music they started. Where is the colonial dictator of Cameroon? Where is Dion Gote? You promised to defeat the Amazonian people in 2 weeks. You've recruited and trained thousands of what you call your special forces, trained by the Americans, trained by the Israelis, trained by the French, trained by the British, with some Canadian assistance. What has happened to the so-called special forces? What has happened to the so-called special forces? Special forces that cannot fight ordinary men and women with no experience, with no training, with no materials. How do you justify that? You borrowed hundreds of millions of dollars. You invested it in the military. And they can't fight. They have become what? Bandits? Gangs? Drug dealers? Extortionists? Arsonists? Rapists? Murderers? Now Mr. Biya has no control over those forces. Mr. Biya has no control over the bees, has no control over the gendarmes, have no control over the police. And that's why there is chaos in the occupied territory of Amazonia. The chaos in the occupied territory of Amazonia is as a result of Amazonia's strategic defeat of Cameroon, where these bees, this military, the gendarmes, the police, they don't know what to do. There is no command and control. There is no accountability. I got a call today from an Amazonian mother in the United States, just before I came into the studio. She called me crying. Brother Asu, I beg, I need help. We don't know the whereabouts of my brother. And that relates to a story I've mentioned here. About 3 weeks ago, I got a call from a brother in the United States. He told me 4 Amazonians are missing in the community called Chomba. And at the time, when he made the call, he said it's been about 2-3 days. Nobody knows their whereabouts. I said, okay, let me pass the information to the Central Command. They should help with the investigations. About 24 hours later, we got feedback from the Central Command. The names and the persons listed, the Central Command has contacted all the forces in surrounding communities. They have no clue about these persons. And I said, look, there are about 4 to 5 different types of actors on the ground. You have the occupation military, controlled by the colonial state, by the occupying state. And within the occupation military, you have the special forces called the B that are directly engaged in active combat. Then you have the support intelligence gathering system called the gendarmes. Then you have the army. Then you have the police force. I said, within the B, some of them during the day, they are special forces of the occupying state. At night, they specialize in survival games. That is doing kidnapping for ransom. Targeting Ambazonians, kidnapping them, and collecting ransoms. I said, look, the gendarmes have a ring where the top commanders, they send some gendarmes out at night to engage in kidnapping for ransom. The military is doing the same. The police are doing the same. They have lost the war. You have a system where there is no command and control, there's no accountability of these thugs. And the ordinary Ambazonia is paying the price. Now, 3 weeks going, 4 Ambazonians have been missing. The sister told me they have discovered the bodies of 3 out of the 4 persons. The only person whose body hasn't been found is that of the brother. This is what we as a people, this is the reality of our people today. This is the daily experience of an ordinary Ambazonian on the territory. This is what our people are facing. You have now the colonial senators, the colonial parliamentarians who wants to maintain their grip within the structure of governance in the occupying territory. They have also created their own militias. They have created armed bandits that they have zero command and control over. They are all active in the territory. Then you have the colonial governor or the colonial governors in the Atlantic state and the Savannah states. Then you have the SDOs. You have the DOs. You have the mayors. Each of this level of occupational governance system, they have their own level of armed gangs. They have recruited, they have trained, they are all active in the Ambazonia territory. Who has control over these people? Mundi will tell you this is not true. Go to the ground, they will tell you. Some of the forces, some of these armed bandits, ADF has arrested, they have all confessed. Before Oliver of Lebialem, before he was killed, he made a video in which he informed that one of the colonial minister has armed groups in Lebialem. This is the challenge the Ambazonian people are facing. They have armed groups they have no control over. and they are committing crimes, atrocities. Who is now responsible for those 4 Ambazonians in Chamba? Go to the colonial military. Oh, they will tell you, no, their forces are not, they don't engage in such stuff. Go to the colonial parliamentarians. They will tell you, no, we're not involved. Go to the colonial senators. They will tell you they are not involved. They are all directly involved. Mr. Tanganji has confessed. The colonial general has confessed that even the military has its own Amba boys. Then you have elements of the DDR. During the day, they are part of the disarmament commission. At night, they send all of them out to terrorize the population as a form of punishment. At night, they give them weapons, they give them ammo to go and terrorize the population. This is the poison, this is the evil Mr. Biya has created in Ambazonia because of the defeat. Because you have defeated them, because of your resistance. Now they are using brute force, acts of violence, extortion, kidnapping as a form of collective punishment. They have unleashed all sorts of evil and terror tactics as a form of punishment on the Ambazonian people. Because of your defiant spirit. Because you want freedom. This afternoon, the Vice President of Ambazonia Governing Council briefed the council on the ongoing detention of the leader of our liberation struggle, Dr. Chulu Kasaya. This afternoon, the press secretary, Comrade Cecilia, put out a public statement to give the Ambazonian people public update. Through the legal system of Norway, the intelligence services, the police services of Norway have once again asked the Norwegian court to grant them an extension of about 8 more weeks for them to continue with their investigations. And therefore, they asked the court permission to keep the leader in detention for 8 more weeks. That's what all of you needs to know. Is it legal? Is it lawful? We live in other people's systems. We will follow those systems. We have predicted this, that the moment Cameroon comes to the realization that they have lost the war, they will forget about the loss and they will shift their attention to activists, to leaders, to advocates, to Ambazonians in the diaspora, in order to shift the focus from the loss to things that do not really matter that much. It's a game. It's called how. Let me create a new perception, and therefore let me impose a new reality, so that I create a new narrative, and I dictate what you talk about and what you think about. It does not change the reality on the ground. How did we get here? We got here because the Cameroon colonial state, remember what I said before, war is an extension of politics by other means. That was my first statement. What we are facing, it's another aspect of the war. They have shifted the battlefield to a whole different dimension in order to distract the Amazonian people and to shift the focus from the ground, from the resistance, from the liberation, to be talking about Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, to be talking about Norway. That's how you play the game. How did we get here? Cameroon, members of Cameroon colonial government contacted a Norwegian journalist and invited him to where? To Cameroon. The Cameroon colonial state that has tried to assassinate Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, that has put 1 billion CFA bounty as a reward for anyone to assassinate him. They've made 7 attempts. They've been unsuccessful. So they have to do something different. If we cannot kill you, we tried blackmail, it didn't work. We tried character assassination, it didn't work. We tried a smear campaign, it didn't work. We tried to infiltrate, to implode the organization from within, it did not work. We tried to kill their top commanders on the ground, it didn't work. Okay, let's try something different, all right? Let's see how we can trigger the international system. Let's see how we can trick the international system to respond. So the Cameroon government devised a very simple plan. Oops, we got to fix this. We have to look nice always. So they invited a Norwegian journalist to where? To Cameroon. He got to Yaoundé, and they took him from Yaoundé to Douala. Who took him? The colonial military. So there are 2 sides to the conflict. And one side decided to invite a journalist so that they can shape the narrative of what is documented, what is recorded, and what would eventually be put out to the public. Okay? The journalist got to Douala. The Cameroon bees and the intelligence services, they took him in a military helicopter. This is an independent journalist. Is now being flown in a military helicopter by the bees and the military intelligence services agents. They flew him from Douala straight to Mamfe, not to Kumba, not to Boya, not to Tiko. They took him from Douala to Mamfe. To show him the massacre they committed using embedded and proxy forces. The massacre of October 6, 2023. The Mamfe massacre in Newly out of Beko, where I came from. They took the journalist there and created a narrative. And took him to other places and built a narrative. A Norwegian journalist. Did the journalist didn't visit other parts of Ambazonia as an independent journalist? He didn't visit other parts of Ambazonia to talk to all sides. No. Came back to Norway. Wham. That's it. The Norwegians have to defend their own integrity. And so they have to, Cameroon has triggered something. And Norwegians fell into it. So now the Norwegian state has to respond. That's the basis of why Dr. Cho is in detention. That is the basis. Something designed, orchestrated, executed by the other party, by the occupier. War is an extension of politics using other means. This is another one way of fighting the war. If they trigger the international system, even if there is nothing to it, at least they've taken you out of the battlefield. Even if there is nothing to it, at least they've started a process. What if that process goes on for 6 months? The commander in chief is out of the battlefield. The leader is being taken out of the battlefield. It's now 2 months. What if it goes on for 8 months? What if it goes on for a year? These are the games you must understand. That's why I've insisted for Ambazonians to develop complex intelligence, complex ways of thinking. Okay. What does this mean? The leader has a message for Ambazonians. He has consistently told us when it becomes so undeniable to Cameroon that they have been defeated, they will try to change the narrative. This is what this is all about. Remember the 2 weeks lockdown in September? Remember the 2 weeks lockdown in September? When it became clear to Cameroon as to who is in charge, as how Dr. Cho was able to rally all the forces on the ground to enforce the 2 weeks lockdown, that's when Cameroon became mad. They said, huh? All right. So now, all those proxies, all the Crisanos, all the Akwangas, all the Sakos, all the Sikot, all the Magbaretas, all these people we have bribed, corrupted, compromised to blackmail, bring this guy down, bring the egg of sea down, bring down the momentum of the resistance. Oh, they have all failed. The nationalists are leading. The momentum is on the ground. If this thing continues this direction, it's going to be a very tough fight for Cameroon. Independence is here. Liberation is here. The ground has been mobilized and focused on one objective. We have to shift the game. And wham! they trigger the international system. What happened to your focus? Cameroon was able to divert your focus from the victory on the ground. Cameroon was able to divert the focus from the defeat to now be talking about Norway, to now be talking about Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. Fellow Ambazonians, don't fall for it. If you fall for it, it will be the end of your journey to freedom. If you fall for these political games, for these mental games, for these psychological games, it will be the end of your ability to be free, to have independence. The leader's message is very clear. Focus on the ground. Allow the team of experts, allow the team of lawyers to do the work. Secure the ground. Fund the ground. Defend the ground. Defend your gains. Defend your progress. Focus on the ground. Our independence will not come from Norway. We will win the law case. Because right now there is none. He's not been charged with anything. They are still going. 2 months later, the Norwegian police cannot find anything in which they can use to charge him. So that's why they are buying time with the hope that maybe something will stick. Maybe they'll find something. Prepare even for the worst. Focus on the ground. Focus on the ground. We have strategically defeated Cameroon. Fellow Ambazonians, the talk say war. Now another form of politics, we use now other means. The second thing where they talk, I say be very difficult for solve political problems through military force. They born you as an Ambazonian for a land with God created, with plenty natural resources, with abundance, with wealth, so that you will live a good life, so that you will live a prosperity life, so that you will live a life of progress. You will live a life of plentiful. You will live a big life. You will live a divine filled life. Also, God give you the first democratic system of government for that country will be blessed. So you get two things. One, they born you for a country will be blessed with natural resources. It be blessed with abundance. It be blessed with wealth. And two, God talks, say, if I give you all these things and I not give you a better system of government, all those things will I give you, it will become now a curse. Because when I go fight, when I go kill each other. So make I give you the second thing where you need them for make all those things useful for everybody. Make I give you a stable, organized, clean system of government where it focus now for the development of the people. Then. So they give you better institutions. They give you a better economic system, a better political system, a better education system, a better legal system. For develop the Ambazonian people then for all ways and in all shape. so that we fit live the best life. Cameroun be in chaos. Cameroun be in anarchy. They be face a rebellion. They not be fit for feed themselves. So instead of creating a union of two states, of two people, they would come together for form an act of union. Cameroun decide for occupy we. Experts like Professor Carson and Nyangwe, they don't take una through this journey of how all of those things they happen. That's not the purpose of my message this for you today. I want to just lay a foundation as to why they kill you, as to why you suffer, as to why they declare war on you, as to why they occupy you. They see the land too rich. They see the land filled with abundance. They see the land filled with all this wealth. They see a stable system of government, a vibrant economic system, a vibrant political system, with the most innovative education system. They see these Amazonians, the economy, they grow, they expand. Amazonians that become wealthy and wealthy and wealthy and wealthy and more developed. When they be born me for Mamfe, the streets of Mamfe be tarred. When they be born me for Mamfe, water be there for every quarter for Mamfe, and that water be being free. That's about 40-something years ago. Now, like, hey, Mr. Spokesman, and you're still young, so. When they be born me, with the woke up for morning time, we just go for pump. You open pump, all families they carry water for free. Water be being free. Now Ambazonia, even though they born me when Mr. Biado already take over, they born me around that time Mr. Biado just take over. Ambazonia, the weighty was state be don't create them, it be still be intact. So some of we will be see a little bit of that, not be much, because we just come in when we just start for work around that time Mr. Biado just come in. But at least we'll be see a little bit of some of what be still be left. You come morning time, just go there, go open pump, you carry your water. Today, water now they like something with the commander for heaven. So they born you with all these things, they born you all the wealth. God give you two things: the wealth, the natural resources, the abundance. Then he give you a stable political structure where it be accountable to the people and it be for the people. And with the economy system, it make them way even Amazonian farmers, they be some of the most wealthy people there. Systems like the marketing board for not only buy all the produce, but also for export those produce so that Ambazonia they sell their produce directly to the international market at an international market cost, and then bring the profit back to Ambazonian farmers. But it will provide farming education to Ambazonian farmers and give them tools, fertilizer, chemicals. My dad be a counselor for Akwaya, for all of Akwaya. My dad will be a counselor. My dad will also be a farmer and a trader. So I grew up, my dad we get big cocoa farms. And I see they go take chemicals. Where they give them. La Republic see what you get them, see what they born you with. And it because of the political system and the economic system, you put them together, La Republic not be a match to Ambazonia. So La Republic decide, if La Republic live we go be too advanced and La Republic go become witty Donald Trump, he call and say a shithole country. So that jealousy of La Republique for see a people then would it be a well-organized people, very educated set of people, a vibrant culture, a beautiful culture. They got all this abundance. A people where they love each other, a people where they be a very peaceful people. Cameroun not be fit for stand the Amazonian people. So they call and say the tall poppy syndrome. That means say if I be a coward and I see you where they do well, the only way for me for proof say I be a nothing, I be a nobody, now for destroy you, because if I destroy you where you be something and I be a nobody, then in my destruction of you, it go make me feel like say I be something. Oh, did I just say that? So Cameroun now, it decide for not only occupy Ambazonia, but for destroy everything we make the Ambazonian people them wealthy. But for destroy everything we make the Ambazonian people them abundant. But for destroy everything we make the Ambazonian people them prosperous. But for destroy everything we make the Ambazonian people politically stable. So that's why they destroy the economic system. That's why they destroy your legal system. That's why they destroy your infrastructures. That's why they destroy your cultural systems. That's why they destroy your customs. That's why they go for destroy your tradition. Because since La Republique be nothing and a nobody, by destroying Ambazonia, it go give La Republique an illusionary perception. Say La Republique is something. So La Republique now go for adopt this destructive, murderous policies on the occupied people of Ambazonia. Because La Republique, they try to make a nobody La Republique, a know-nothing La Republique, forget the illusion of superiority. Forget the illusion of being something. That he kill you now because you be blessed. That he kill you now because of the wealth. So that if they kill you, if they destroy your legal system, your economic system, your social system, your culture, your norms, your traditions, and your value. If they destroy you, then now you go be a nothing, and La Republique go feel say it be something. So now La Republique will govern you. I give you a lot of information here I try to simplify a lot of big information here in simple way we all if you understand what did it really go on. Because until you understand the why of the conflict, the purpose of the conflict, the reason of this conflict, until you understand the why, you go get lost in the daily little things and way La Republique go to make you get lost inside those little things then, because you need to understand what did it really go on. I want to let you know what did it really go on. That he killed the people of Manu, of Meme, of Fako, of Coupe. That he killed the Ambazonian people of Lebialem. That he killed Ambazonians for the state of Meme, of Momo, for the state of Mezan, for the state of Menchon. for the state of Ngoketunja. They kill Ambazonians in the state of Boyo. They kill all these Ambazonians in the state of Bui. Not because you be a wealthy people. Not because a bunch of morons would it be a know-nothing. A people where since they give them independence, they never fit for create paracetamol for themselves. They never fit for clean their own streets. A people they not be fit for feed themselves. Now we, the Amazonian people, they feed them. Now we save them. Give them place to stay. Give them land to do farming. Give them house. So understand what it go on. They declare war on you. They occupy you. Declare war on you. For wipe all we out. For take that land. Might ask some questions. The war where Mr. Paul Biya and Diongute, they declare among the Amazonian people. Mr. Biya don't win that war. Now the first question that. By Paul Biya declaring war on the Amazonian people, Cameroun don't become more peaceful. Cameroun don't become more stable. Cameroun don't become more developed. Cameroun don't become more advanced. So, if Cameroun never become more peaceful, if Cameroun never become more stable, if Cameroun, the economy of Cameroon need to grow, if Cameroun never become more developed, then what should be the purpose of declaring war on Amazonia? Now only Lucas asks if he get this kind of talk and if he asks this kind of question. They declare war. Their war where they declare them. It never make Cameroon more peaceful. It never make Cameroon more secure. It never make Cameroon more developed. It never make Cameroon more advanced. Then wait till be the purpose for declaring war on the Amazonian people. Then. Now because Paul Biya and the people that govern Cameroon now a bunch of morons. Now a bunch of cowards. Where they call themselves, according to spiral dynamics, a branch of study where I don't be an expert in for the last 15 years as part of my work. Mr. Biya, they look up to themselves as power gods with small g, G-O-D-S. They see themselves as demigods. They see themselves as a group of people, and they see the Amazonian people as their slaves. So, Mr. Biya and the people that they govern the occupying state, they see themselves as untouchable. They see themselves as nothing will happen for them. This group of persons, their psychology and their nervous system, you need to understand what they call and say consequences. They don't know what they call and say consequences. They don't know what they call and say accountability. They don't know what they call and say repercussions. Their psychology and their nervous system. That means say their model where it shape who they be, the thing where it make them who they be. Not need to exist as consequences. Not need to exist as consequences because they see themselves as power gods. After God, not them. They believe na them own Cameroun, na them own Ambazonia, and they fit do anything to anybody at any time, and no person no need for cough. So they need for take that mindset for come into the occupied territory, for make the occupation effective. They got for take that mindset. They come into the occupied territory and they recruit people where they get the tendencies of power gods. People where they get similar thinking in their personality, like Mr. Bia. So Mr. Bia get for come into the Amazonian people them and go through all the 8 million something Amazonians and find those kind of people among us. Those people where they feel kill. Mr. Biaga for find Amazonian papa them, Amazonian mami them, Amazonian uncles, Amazonian aunts, and make them the colonial administrators, where they be responsible in the occupation governance. And those people, they must act like Mr. Bia. Mr. Bia now get for grow them, he get for groom them, they get for sign agreement, so that they feel kill their own brothers and sisters and they not feel any remorse. Oh, another one thing I'll get for talking about these people, this group of persons, they need to feel any way they call and say shame. One of the thing will make them who they be, they know what they call and say shame. So they feel kill person and they come out the job begin work so they don't care about what any other person around them think about. Now, one of the reasons that they do the things where they do them, because they see themselves as power gods. And they know what they call shame, they don't know what they call remorse, they don't know what they call accountability, they don't know what they call repercussions. They don't care about any other thing where anybody think about. The only thing will be important and it matter to them now power. And they must get them by all means and by all cost. That's why they kill you. That's why the Regina Mundis, the Tabetandos, the Mr. Political Scientists, Ngole Ngole, the Kemas. That's why all these sets of persons, they get the same quality as Mr. Bia. They must be ready to kill. They must be ready to rape. Even if not for kill pregnant women, the Regina Mundis, they go kill even pregnant women for them for be for power. They go give order for kill even baby, small baby them. Like what happen for Tico, the small 3 months old pikin, where they put it for chair. They Ngole give orders, may they shoot them because they want to be for power. Because they must govern you. Because you must submit to them. And they believe say nobody will do anything to them. So that's why they do what they do in Ambazonia. That's why they recruit the wicked one them. They recruit not the one where they get satanic characteristics. They recruit not the one where they get demonic characteristics. They recruit not the one where they get vampire characteristics so that they feel suck the blood. They recruit not the one way they get greedy characteristics. So that when they put a project, they take all the money, they chop them. So that the people, they die. That's why they kill you. That's why they give those kind orders for their bees, for their army, for their police, for their gendarme, for do what they do among our people. The leader be tell the Amazonian people, the plan way we lay them out when we defeat Cameroun, and it become very obvious to Cameroun, say we don't defeat them. When it becomes to the international community, say the Amazonian people, they don't achieve the strategic objectives where the leader be lay them out. Paul Biya for change, because these people, they no one lost face, right? Mr. Bianofi accepts it. He can declare war on a people. And he believes it. He get, what they call and say the bees. Who would be the bees? The bees, now a group of special forces, would they be trained by the Americans as part of the U.S. counter-terrorism approach for Central Africa. So the U.S. it pumped in billions of dollars for equip and for train these special forces for duty, for use and for fight Boko Haram. When are the same people they create them for create instability, and then they will come there when I say they don't give our forces where they feel help on for fight those people then. All right. We'll get that conversation for another day. Man, no get sidetracked. So they take these bees. Would they be trained by the Americans? They be trained by the Israelis. They be trained by some of them. They be trained by the French. They be trained by the British. Even the Canadians. They don't help for do some training and some equipping of these bees. Most of their latest armor cars, they buy for Canada. So Canada get a vested interest for see the conflict in Amazonia continue because Mr. Biadi buy weapons from Canada. So we must understand again. All right. So they take these bees. Remember which I don't tell you now. They get for send a soldier them way. They must go do the things and way Mr. Biya want them. Rape, kill, maim, destroy, kill even a baby them, kill even a big mommy them. Burn them alive, burn their house them, because there will be no consequences to you. Because there will be no repercussion on you. We will give you the political cover. We will go cover your crimes. We will go hire international lobby firms for England, for UK, for America, for protect all una. So when I go do wetin una need for do until una silence these people then. Just like wetin Mr. Biya and Ayijo they be doing for the Bamili case. They kill 400,000 Bamili case. They take woman for street, they cut the woman in bobby, cut the head, cut the ear, cut the foot, put them for street. For make everybody make it be afraid. So Mr. Biya don't practice this kind demonic, occultic, satanic, evilish tendencies for a very long time. Mr. Biya is a master of the demonic games. Mr. Biya is a master of the satanic operations. Mr. Biya is a master of devilish incarnations. Mr. Biya is a master, like king of devils, of the demons and the Satan. That's why it don't take all those experiences for bring them for the Amazonian people. Because they kill the aspirations of Cameroun. And they want to take that same playbook for using for Amazonia. Now, you get these bees trained by the Americans, trained by Israelis, trained by the British, trained by the Canadians as well. Would invest for them. And these special forces they not fit defeat ordinary men and women with their bare hands. Ordinary Ambazonians, men and women, with their bare hands, they defeat the bees, where they be trained by the Americans, would it be trained by the Israelis, by the British, by the French? Would the Canadians not invest for them? So how you feel justified? People, they think they be superior. And then they get these special forces. And then they get this military. They don't face a reality where they don't feel wrap their head around. How after 8 years, Ambazonia don't achieve all its strategic objectives for the first phase of the liberation, and give Cameroun a big strategic defeat. %80 of all Ambazonian villages and the areas around town, Cameroun not get no control over those areas. As I put up my Twitter yesterday, 80% of the interlands and suburbs, Ambazonia get static and dynamic control. For all those places, there is no occupation governance structure. Cameroun, the occupation system only there for the towns. The occupation system, the only function for the towns. It be very difficult for them to leave the towns. So when I need to understand the strategic defeat, what this strategic defeat be all about, and what we don't achieve them as a people. Most of all Ambazonian villages, Cameroun don't lost absolute control, or Ambazonia get dominant control. I put it that way. So when we talk about strategic defeat, I want to make you begin to understand what that strategic defeat be about. The Cameroun government, for most of the Ambazonian territory, it not get control. The only place where the Cameroun government is still get some semblance of control now the towns and cities of Ambazonia. That's why the senators, even for the town, the senators in office stay there. The parliamentarians in office stay there. Since 2017, 7 years later, all the colonial senators, they don't run the territory. All the colonial parliamentarians, they don't run the territory. That is called strategic defeat. Because you get the top level of the occupation governance system or administrators, they don't run. That is called strategic defeat. You get most of the DOs and the SDOs. They stay now for army camps. They stay now for army bunkers. That is called strategic defeat. All right? You get most of the economic activities where they be used as exploitation projects. They don't either something like Sonara since 2018, 6 years later, Cameroun not rebuild Sonara because they need 400 and something billion CFA for rebuild Sonara. So you crumble them politically, where you delegitimize them, you reduce their effectiveness, you reduce their influence, you reduce their political control, you crumble them economically. That's called strategic defeat. Then you move to La République. You cause economic chaos for La République. You cause the Cameroon government for split. Like now you see various factions. You see their opposition, they not be fit for talk. They don't start to get small voice. You see the Northeast, they want to try for break out. You see the people then for the West, they want to try for break out. You see the people for the Douala people and Yaoundé people, they try for stick together. So you cause a political tension and a political rift inside Cameroon. Now all part of our strategic defeat that. For weakening the occupier, when now you get two systems of government. You get the Ngongo system of government, where if you travel for Norway and tell Norway, say there will be no negotiation. And then you get the Paul Biya Diongute system of government where they talk, say, okay, we want to talk through Canada. And then you get the junior, the shadow system of government, we go come out for outside, can't tell them, say, no, wait till we talk for Canada, it be null and void, we not recognize them. And then you see Mr. Biya and Diongute, they back down. Now the strategic defeat that. When you see the government don't split, you see what we don't do for them internationally. Cameroon not be the only people the way they fit talk to the international system. You see now the international system, Ambazonia don't become a household name. Southern Cameroons, the conflict, it don't get to the level for every Senate, every House of Congress, every parliament, including the Canadian Parliament. They don't get a discussion, a debate, and make a resolution on the conflict. You see now the international system. Now we give authorization for humanitarian organizations and other actors for enter the territory. Cameroon not get monopoly of the use of military. When I see October 1, thousands and thousands and thousands of Ambazonian forces across the territory. For the 2 weeks lockdown, you know, we see any of these be them around. Monday goes down, they still go on. So when we talk about strategic defeat, I want to make you take all these things and put them inside one bucket and call and say strategic defeat. And hold them very tight. That is your diplomatic currency. You get a whole section of Ambazonia. Now we control the education system. We determine what will happen for the territory. We determine whether our territory be open or our territory be shut down. That is enormous power. For Cameroon, for choose this talk, remember what I tell you. War is an extension of politics by other means. Cameroon not face this disgrace. So Cameroon get for change the narrative. Cameroon get for fool you. Mr. Biya not face this reality of this strategic defeat. Diongute not face am. They not live with this reality. Because who they be? They be power gods. They be demigods, right? So how demigods if he be defeated? How people they not feel shame, and now they go for live with shame. Think about it. A person will not feel shame, and now we go for live in shame. Think about what you don't do for La République. You don't messed up La République psychologically, mentally, emotionally, physically, economically, politically, culturally. You don't messed up La République. You don't create a psychological distortion within La République where they don't know themselves anymore. Cameroon don't know who they be anymore because of this, because of Ambazonia. We don't shaking them. They don't know whether or not to change their name. Because the name Cameroon, it don't become now a stain on the international system. The name Cameroon represents genocide. The name Cameroon represents the killing of babies. The name Cameroon represents that for born and meet them alive. The name Cameroon represents terrorism. So even the Cameroon people that said they run from their name because they stain to humanity. So a people that they run from shame, now they get for live with shame. So they get for find a way for change the subject, for change the narrative. That's why they trigger the international system. Mateona. That defeat, Cameroon not live with the shame. So they get for create a new angle of a battlefield. They get for open a new battlefield. How Dr. Cho come to be detained, because of which I don't explain it for now. Because it lay out a roadmap. Because it lay out a set of principles, a set of actions, how for end the occupation. It lay them all out. The Amazonian people, they embrace them. The forces, they embrace them. And Amazonia rendered a strategic defeat on Cameroun. Now Cameroun don't be confused. The people, they declare war on you. Who's Mr. Biade? You know, if he come around again, can't talk about the conflict. Diongute, if he come out, can't talk about the conflict. All them, the people, they declare war on you and they give you 2 weeks, 7, 8 years going, they don't run away. Because of the strategic defeat. You know, if you live with the reality of what your resistance, your resilience, your defiance, what you don't cause them. And they not justify to themselves. And they not tell themselves, they not explain them, they not reason them. How ordinary men and women for Amazonia, a defeat, what they call super elite forces. Where they claim they get the best military. They not understand. So that's why Mr. Paul Biya don't run. That's why Diongute don't run. In fact, last year, some university for the United Kingdom, they be do one of a big event for that university. Mr. Diongute be go school for London, he be go for that university. They be do a program. They be invite me and they be invite Mr. Diongute for can talk about the conflict. Once Mr. Diongute, if find out, say they don't invite me, I go be one of the speakers for can talk about this conflict from the Amazonian perspective and the occupation and the occupier perspective. Mr. Diongute run. Mr. Diongute not show up. So we need to understand, these people, they fear we. These people, they fear we. They know what you don't do for them. Because you don't demonstrate for them. You know if you take the Amazonian people for granted. And never again will Cameroun occupy Amazonia. We don't vow as a people. We must end the occupation and lift our people them. For which God be create them. For them, the kind of life where they're supposed to live. Never again. So these people need to change the subject. That's why they get into the games. The Cameroon government, he invite a Norwegian journalist. Give me a moment. All right, we're good. So the Cameroon government, he invite a Norwegian journalist to Cameroon. They fly to Yaoundé and then take it from Yaoundé, they reach Douala for their military headquarters. They tell you, say, look, we don't tell the world, we don't know what did happen. We get terrorists them, when at them they cause palaver for our country. And we want to make you document them. And one of those people then, when they call it the leader, we all man they listen for it. It make we need to sleep. It make peace in order for our country. We want to carry you, go show you the atrocities and the crimes then. Where that one way they stay from our country. In name Dr. Cho Ayaba. He get a group where they call and say the Amazonia Governing Council. He get forces where they call and say the ADF. All the things where they happen for this place where they call and say Northwest and Southwest. All the problems where they happen for which they call and say Northwest and Southwest regions of Cameroon. Yeah, then they cause them. Make we carry you, go show you which they cause them. They fly this journalist from Douala straight. They not stop for Boya. They not stop for Tico. They not carry, make it drive for their armor car. So that may SSF carry eye. It see the conditions of the occupation. It see the destruction of waiting Mr. Bia Award on Kosa. You not leave them. They carry, they fly for military helicopter from Douala straight to Mamfe. Why Mamfe? I don't explain it for you now. They set up this Mamfe massacre for use them as a way for end the Ambazonian resistance, for cause a revolt from the people then, right? We can explain that for you now. We expose the whole scheme. They carry, fly for Mamfe, carry, go for new layout of Beko, place where accommodate, carry, show you all what happened. Show the grave of all the people that kill him. And then remember, now they carry now the bees, the special forces that identify the war, and the Cameroon military intelligence. That they don't create the narrative, they construct the narrative, fit them for the journalists they had. They direct what you need for Siam, how we need for Siam, how we need for tell the story. He come back. Bam! Norway not get no choice than to defend itself. They get for trigger the international system. War is extension of politics using other means. According to Una think say you only fight one for battlefield. See, you don't trigger something. They create a scheme. Trick this journalist. Make him cover an important story where it will make it will become famous. Now we understand again. He buy into it. They sponsor you go. They take good care of you. They probably give you own golden statue, right? I will take time one of these days so I can explain how all these things that work psychologically. So ego, they treat you very well, take good care of you, make you feel important. And they make you know, say, they say, wait till you do it will solve a big problem and it will make you become what? Famous. Because the AGOFC, the ADF and Ambazonia, now a big story where the world be interested in. So it will make you become a reputable journalist and it will also make you a lot of money because you don't go for a conflict zone, go cover a big story. So there is a vested interest here too. But a trap where the occupiers set up. The moment he come back, the Norwegians, the Siam, they fall for the trap where Cameroun already set up. We said Dr. Chodi leave for Norway. So the system now get for respond. They create them, they set them, they trigger them, the system respond. 2 months later, the Norwegians, intelligence services, their police, they never find anything where Cameroon be one user for incriminate the leader. With what Cameroon the claimer crimes against humanity. Also, the incite violence on Ambazonia. Even though not two parties to the conflict today, but one party to the conflict. Because now we need to understand the game. So not be not only for talk. You need to think about how to cripple your enemy. Cameroon put 1 billion bounty for any person who go kill Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. The Cameroon government, they don't put this bounty about 5 years ago. Said they will give 1 billion CFA. They don't try 7 assassination attempts, including Cameroon government and Samuel Sako. They move Michel Bientong Cameroon government and SACO, they be responsible for move Michel Bienton from place we be there for Africa, for bringing for Norway as part of this scheme. All those on the fail. 7 assassination attempts, they fail. Those 2 weeks lockdown for September, it be been at the tipping point. Where Cameroon realize and say, all the money where they don't give Sako, all the money where they don't pump up for Cristiano, all the small money they give the Mark Barretta, the Sicot, the one with the 69 teeth, all the money that they give them, including the traitor and the petite criminal, where Cameroon want use it for implode the egg of sea. All the investment where Cameroon don't use them, including moving it from Hong Kong, bring it for Canada. All those things, Cameroon realize and say, all of these people put together, they not be fit for stop the resistance on the ground. They not be fit for disrupt the resistance, including the killing of Amazonian forces. The Sakos, the Cristiano, they not be fit for stop the resistance on the ground. The Siko, they not be fit for get the people of Momo for rise up against the forces. They try for bringing this other last act. Take person will don't be within the egg of sea, with the egg of sea, clean it up, show you how to wear a shirt, teach you how to dress, teach you how to put a tie on, teach you how to be a man, teach you how to put a jacket on. They infiltrate you, use money, move it over, give you small place for stay, buy a motor. For the first time, the person get a motor now for drive. And that's why now, for the first time, when they see now, they make now the videos so inside motor. When they be there for Hong Kong, they be make videos of motor. Welcome to the game anyway. So, Cameroon realize and say, all of these people put together, they not be fit for stop the resistance and therefore render things may be so slow. Cameroon now, if he come in now, can't offer something before the presidential election. So the 2 weeks lockdown for September, it finally tell Cameroon, they say, the Amazonian people don't prevail. This strategic defeat now, it be so real than any other time. Say the nationalist forces, the patriots, Amazonians at home and in the diaspora, they be so united for a common purpose and they stand with the ground, the forces and the population, they stand together. They answer the call of the leader. For proof to Cameroon, to the international system, say Amazonia won independence when? Now. The 2 weeks lockdown will it be endorsed by all Amazonian forces across the 13 states. They make the most effective 2 weeks lockdown. When the forces themselves, they come outside, they can proclaim it. It shut down Yaoundé. It shut down the international system. Paul Biya come to the conclusion, say, the game don't be over for the occupation. The end don't come because the forces on the ground now, they don't finally rally under a common purpose. You know, if you divide them anymore, they don't answer now the call of the leader, the nationalist leader. Cameroon realize and say, if things they continue this way, Cameroon must pack out of Amazonia. So Cameroon get for do something. That's why they trigger the Norwegian episode. For change the script, for change the story, for move Amazonia from capitalizing on the strategic defeat, for move the focus of the Amazonian people, for stop the momentum on the ground so that they can write a new script, create a new narrative, and create a new perception. We go create a new reality. We now Amazonian, they will focus on all this Amazonian victory. So that Amazonian, they go stop for focus on Cameroon, the shame way Cameroon they face. Paul Biya, no one face that shame. Diongbute, no one face that shame. Atangaji, no one face that shame. The Regina Mundis, the Elong, the Paul Tasson, all these colonial governors, colonial administrators, the DOs, the SDOs, the mayors, the parliamentarians, the senator, they not fit come to their senses. How common men and women, they fit dismantle and defeat such a system. So they got to do something where they will use them as a saving grace. That's why they trigger the Norwegian episode. A distraction. A tactic to distract you from your victory. 2 months later, you don't ask for another extension for 8 weeks for keep the leader in detention. Would I be right? Would I be wrong? My process. We don't predict them. Part of the process to understand how these complex systems that work and why I don't always insist make Ambazonians that develop complex systems of thinking so that when these things that happen, if you put the pieces of the puzzles together and if you create a system where you feel explain them for the common person, make he understand. Because if you don't understand complex systems of thinking, you will always be a victim. You will always be a victim. They trigger these things that will distract you. Cameroun don't be strategically defeated for Ambazonia. Not be distracted by the Norway episode. Not be distracted because they don't trigger the detention of the leader. And now they go get a new song for singer. They go talk saying that them they don't make them. That them they don't do them. Say Norway they go now after Amba terrorist. As the press secretary talk am, they trigger that the Norwegian government trigger them as much as now the Cameroon government engineer them and then Norway fall into it. But Cameroon not be responsible for it as the press secretary don't talk am. So what did this one mean? The leader don't consistently tell we, make we focus on the ground. Not focus on Norway exclusively and forget the ground. The ground are the primary focus. We go continue for advocate for the leader. We go continue for advocate for Ambazonian prisoners. We go continue for mount social pressure on Norway. But we go also allow space for the legal experts with the Ambazonia Governing Council. They don't hire them. The best of the best. For hand where they understand the system, for handle the case. Even if you go take now the next 2 months, even if you go take now the next 4 months, even if you go take now 1 year, even if you take now 3 years, even if it take as long as the Sisiko they don't stay for prison. Now part of the process of liberation will not be the first one then. When things they go bad for La République, when they end on the camp, they go trigger even the systems of place where they go trigger all the systems. They go find, recruit, hire Ambazonians for Canada. For come out. For even go launch lawsuits against some of we. I want one winner. When they end the camp, we choose for do something we be selfless for our people then. We choose for stand for the truth. We choose for stand for do something we be beyond ourselves for the freedom of our people then. You know, if you grow up for that kind of poverty, for that kind of dehumanization, for that kind of terrorism from an occupying state, and you get the ability to do something, and you decide, say, because you fear, you do nothing, then you're a coward. All right? It'd be easy for just fold your hand for do nothing. For all winner, you be a nurse today now because you believe say you want to do something. You be a doctor today now because you want to do something. You be a lawyer today because you want to do something. You be a farmer because You want to make a contribution for feed earthlings, for feed these divine souls. You be a carpenter not because you want to do something. You be a mechanic not because you want to do something. Anything you want to do not because there is a purpose will be beyond yourself. What are that purpose? Now for make woman that made it look very beautiful, or not for cut man picking their head made it look very handsome. What are not for sew the best clothes? What are not for make the best shoes? Maybe not for write the best song. Maybe not for produce the best lyrics. Maybe not for design the best sounds where they will go into those lyrics. You do that because you want to make a contribution will be beyond yourself. You want to touch lives. King, he lived for touch lives. Mandela, he give his life for touch lives. Mother Teresa, I don't talk about it so many times. This woman, this Catholic nun, will change how humanitarian services that be provided be touched by love for the people of India where they don't be abandoned by their own society. It go there for go care for them, for change the perception of how you feel use God's love, and you change how you care for people them where society don't abandon them. It changed the concept of humanitarian work. When he died, the whole world, more than 100,000 people there, they go for streets for honor this woman. We dedicate her life for people the way society be thinks that there be nothing. They leave them just die without. He say, I will not leave them die without love and dignity. Even if the one die, may they die for a hand. May they die, may they know some person care about them. But because I see the pain firsthand. I grew up for the suffering firsthand. I grew up for the poverty firsthand. I grew up for the torture firsthand. I experienced Kale as a child. I experienced the military brutality as a young man. They don't carry some of we. They lock them for their police station and their Jadam station them. Because they catch we as mere students. I think I'll be from 1, from 2. They beat we, rob we, all we for ground. I don't taste them. I know the brutality of the system. And because we care. I get my picking them. With this military, they go for Boya University. Go broke house them. All will not be fit for sleep for outside here. We get for wait until we get for stay up all night until the woke up for morning time. We hear their voice before we go sleep. What big mommy, they drive all them. I get thousands of brothers and sisters, of classmates, of people there from my community, of my friends, of Ambazonians. Some I don't even know them. But I feel their pain. I don't know baby Caro, Imami, but I feel her pain. I don't know the picking them from Gabu, but I feel their pain. Some of you will be born different. But they feel this pain and then will be called to do something. Not see injustice, not see this pain, not see this suffering. Like today, imagine, I talk with this sister today for this afternoon, this evening. Where they don't kill, you don't know what I brother don't die, or they be tortured somewhere. Most likely by the military. Those 4 families where they go move their brothers, their papa, their sisters, and their uncles and for their house, and they disappear them. Now they don't find 3 dead bodies. How do we feel recover? How do we feel recover? We need to do something. I want to make you do something. I want to make you stand up. I want to make you be part of the healing process, of the reclaiming process, of for save the Amazonian people there, for save our state, for save our country. The only way we will get justice, and freedom will give you justice, and independence will give you justice. The only way we can hold Cameroon accountable now if we be free. The only way we hold Cameroon accountable now if we gain independence. Dr. Chodi paid the price today, now for you. Ayokabe paid the price today, now for you. Mancho BBC paid the price today, now for your behalf. Benji paid the price today, now for your behalf. Oben paid the price today, now for your behalf. Paul Trigger paid the price today, now on your behalf. Penn Terrence, he paid the price today, now for your behalf. If you care about them, you care about the one who they don't die, you care about the one who they still there alive, do something so that we save more lives. That's something now for you, for commit, for end Cameroon impunity on the Amazonian people. That's something now for you, for develop the caring, but the anger against Cameroon, where it make you vow, you stand, you decide, say you no go ever tolerate Cameroon in presence of Amazonia again. All we get for stand up, for tell Cameroon, for tell Norway, for tell Canada, you fill up all Amazonians for diaspora and all activists, all leaders, and close all movements. But the independence of Amazonia, it be inevitable. It be unstoppable. The ground will finish the work. The commanders on the ground, the generals on the ground, the soldiers on the ground, the Amazonian people in the territory, they go end Cameroon occupation. Now we don't defeat them strategically. We get for complete the defeat by dismantling whatever is left of the occupation. That means now we get a responsibility for fund the legal defense of the leader, so that the experts, they go take Norway for Norway its own battlefield. We must teach Cameroon a lesson. Number 2, we get refugees. We get hundreds of thousands of Amazonian refugees. We need to find a mechanism to take care of those refugees. We get thousands of Amazonian picking them for community schools. We need to fix those community schools, increase those community schools, and help those picking them make they get better quality and system of education. We don't put them in place. Finally, the ultimate gift for Amazonia, contribute for the self-defense of Amazonian people then, for ground zero. Fund the liberation like never before. In the next 7 months, Cameroon will get presidential election. Tomorrow, I'm going to tell you now, wait till the egg of don't put them in place, what we need to do for make sure, say, within the next 7 months, we teach Cameroon a lesson to take back our territory, because there will be no Cameroon elections in Amazonia. I'm going to leave now with this one. The colonial councillors, the colonial mayors, the colonial DOs, the colonial SDOs, the colonial parliamentarians, the colonial senators, and then they be responsible for the pain we go through, and then they be responsible for the death, that they be responsible for the rapes, that they be responsible for the torture, not them, that they be responsible for them to keep their power in place. Now then don't unleash this evil of terrorism, of torture, of killing, of destruction for our land. Ambazonians must hold these people them accountable. They get two choices: leave the territory, or the Ambazonian people them, the victim of which una don't create them. They go hold una, they go hunt una, and they go hold una accountable through the processes of natural justice. My message is one. I want to thank the people them for ACN. I know say Ground Zero they sleep. When I go watch, when I woke up. I want to thank the people of ACN. I want to thank plenty for all our sacrifices and our services. For make sure say we continue the information match. Give our people them the education, for empower them, for equip them, for inspire them, for all the generals and commanders on the ground. When I place the war. Good night.
The soft-spoken late Meongong Innocent, before his demise, have been operating the Bello cancer in Bello, unlike other cancers within the restive Northwest region, operating away from their base due to the ongoing crisis in the Northwest and Southwest region, which is close to 8 years now. The soft-spoken late Meongong Innocent, before his demise, have been operating the Bello cancer in Bello, unlike other cancers within the restive Northwest region, operating away from their base due to the ongoing crisis in the Northwest and Southwest region, which is close to 8 years now.
Nation that you call yours, people can do what has been done to our children in West Cameroon. I call it West Cameroon because you will never take it out of our mouths again, because that is a territory in which we believe in freedom. To go out on the street and demonstrate is a basic right for us. And that is why we are saying that there are two Cameroons that came together. If you are telling us, like a state minister stood here last year and told us that what happened in Cameroon is like dropping a few cubes of sugar into a basin of water. Who is the sugar and who is the water? I'm asking the government bench of Cameroon, who is that you rape our children? My brother's daughter has been raped in Boya. I swear to you, the government of this country, does the president of this country know that the governors and the DOs and all the administrators who are sent to West Cameroon are out there behaving exactly like an army of occupation? Our people have nowhere to go. We have made all the efforts. Our ancestors and our forefathers trusted you to go into a gentleman's agreement that two people who considered themselves brothers could go to live together. If this is what you show us after 55 years, then those who are saying that we should break Cameroon are right. They are correct. The people of West Cameroon cannot be your slaves. The people of West Cameroon are not, you did not conquer them in war. If this is what you are saying that we should live in, I say simply no, it will not work. How do you have an army that's supposed to protect children, step out there, beat them, and rape some? It is not heard of in any country. This is the 21st century. And anybody who does that, I cannot be willing for his government to pay the price. We will exact it on you. Because you are making us believe that we went to the wrong place. What is there to say? I want the world to know and to have it on record that we have made efforts. I have sat with ministers and listened to them talk. The first one was the then Minister of Justice, Amadou Ali, 10 years ago, and I took my time, drove from Congo to Yaoundé to tell him something is brewing out there. This thing that you people are sending gendarmes to beat people up and say all of these things, there is pain in West Cameroon. And as Minister of Justice, be very careful what happens there. And he turned around looked at me and told me, Mr. Wilbur, it is your people who choose to come here. He is alive. He told me. Last week, I went to see the Minister of Higher Education, Professor Famindongo, and I told him, the problems in Cameroon, the problem we have in West Cameroon, is the problem that will bring down Cameroon. If you do not handle it well, you will not know Cameroon as it is in a few months or in a few years. When people have had pent-up anger and pain, humiliation, for over 50 years, when it bursts out, you will never be able to control it. And I told him. And simply what he asked me was, qu'est-ce que vous allez faire? Because you have your army of occupation out in West Cameroon, you believe that when the people will rise, even if you took the whole of the French army and added to yours, you will never bring them down. And we have no need for that. We don't have any need for that in the 21st century. I was one of the believers in a unified Cameroon. And I want to tell this house that what has happened to those children in Buea University and in Bamenda has convinced me that the people who say Cameroon should go in two parts are correct. And there are more and more of us out there who now believe that it is the ultimate end. I listened the other night, an offer of 1,000 jobs, an offer of 2 billion francs for lay schools, and I laughed at myself. Are my people slaves? So you now take them to be your dogs, that you can beat and wound and maim, break their bones, then throw a piece of meat for them to fight over. It has to end. If we, the people of West Cameroon, have to continue doing what we are doing, it is because we believe that the more is always the merrier. When you have more people, you have more chances of surviving in life. If the more people who are the people of East Cameroon have proven to us that our blood means nothing, then it is time for us to say it will soon be over. I want to give you a quote here in this house that I borrowed from the American liberators. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes a duty. The people of West Cameroon have a duty to resist your oppression. I called it oppression because of what I've seen in the field. Let me quote you another two instances. 3 weeks ago, there was an incident in Bangolan, which is a neighboring village to Jakiri, where I come from. And I don't know what it was about, and a gendarme officer was killed. And the forces of law and order, under the instructions of the SDO of Ngokitunya, move into Jakiri, a neighboring village, and take away 100 men. Just beat them up, break their bones, and then just leave them there. And I went to that place where he took these people, and I told him, Mr. SDO, you are going to release my people. He sent soldiers to me, and one of them told me, I said, I am the representative of these people because I'm a parliamentarian. And the young man turned around and asked me, et puis quoi? On n'est pas ici à Yaoundé. And he drew a line on the ground to tell me, if you cross here, you will see the consequences. Unfortunately for him, I happen to be a descendant of the warriors, so nobody draws a line before me. And I crossed, and I told him, shoot me. I told the SDO, release my people. In 12 hours, he released them. But some are still lying in the hospital. They beat and kicked a woman and she miscarried, a pregnant woman. And nobody can question this. That is the reason in this master plan to finish our culture and our people. You have chosen that every single administrator or every commander of the army is from East Cameroon. That is why they sit there and they can kill the people without remorse. This has to end. Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, I want to repeat this quote. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes a duty. We, the people of West Cameroon, will resist you, and if you want to take that territory by force, you will kill to the last man before you take it. And you can start from me today. You can start from me. It has to end. Somebody has to know that this is not how you treat the people. 50 years is too long. 50 years is a very, very long time. And we come here and sit just talking about the budget. You normalize murder. You normalize rape. Mr. Speaker, I am sorry to tell you that this is part of the resistance. You will hear me to the end. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes a duty. It is my duty to defend my people. You will not stop me because of lack of time. Or if you want to, you can call your brutal gendarmes to come and kill me here. I will not. I will not. I want you to hear this, Mr. Speaker, that my people are suffering, and that the cube of sugar that was defined in this house, are you just angry, Mr. Speaker, that the person you considered your slave, a slave has risen in the master's house and is asking a question? I have. Mr. Speaker, I'm telling you, this is part of my resistance, and you will hear me to the end. Bring the brutal soldiers who raped our daughters to take me out of here. I will say it to my end. I will say it to the end. There is nothing you can do to me. I'm wondering whether His Excellency the President of the Republic knows that the governors and the DOs are behaving exactly when they are posted to West Cameroon as colonial masters. When they abuse people and insult them and do all they have done, we have to resist, and we have to tell you our people will not be brought down because we came into this union as equal partners. Yes, sir. And I am done. And I am done. And we will resist. And there is nothing you can do to stop us, because this is part of our culture that we inherited. You people who fear every administrator and every ruler, we challenge our rulers, we take them to task, and that is why they are accountable. Thank you very much.
Mettre sur pied un programme d'urgence de réhabilitation.
Ambazonia Defense Forces, the vanguards of the Ambazonia War of Independence.
Resonant chants are tempered by the approach of King Quetzalcoatl. 20,000 men are arrayed variously in ostrich feathers and jaguar pelts, and in their hands shields and iron-tipped spears. The king addresses them. I have not gone over the seas to look for the white man, yet they have come into my country, and I would not be surprised if they took away our wives and cattle and crops and land. They want to take me. What shall I do? The clans of the Zulu kingdom answer him with loud professions of loyalty.
From the beginning of time, man has always resisted tyranny and occupation. Humans have always organized themselves to fight and defend their villages, states, and kingdoms from occupation. Ambazonia is not the first territory to be occupied by the enemy. When Lucas Ayaba declared the right to protect against the Bulu terrorists from across the moon, like all other revolutionaries, he knew when the enemy can't beat you, they will try to arrest you.
October 2021, with the AGF Akko Brigade, the Marine Force, the Force and Intelligence Program.
Nelson Mandela, even when faced with death, was tried and sentenced for terrorism and crimes against humanity by the apartheid regime. With all the trumped-up charges, he stood his ground, and he never gave up.
This makes the white man fear democracy. I cherish the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunity. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if it needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die.
The Constitution a war de be dikwa on we and they shoot the first court. I just take God name and beg now.
Mahatma Gandhi caused the fall of the British Empire through his non-violent method, which still earned him a prison sentence with trumped-up charges he never blinked, even at the last hour.
Non-cooperation has one aim: the overthrow of the government. Sedition must become our creed. We must give no quarter, nor can we expect any. Do you deny writing it?
Not at all. And I will save the court's time, my lord, by stating under oath that to this day I believe non-cooperation with evil is a duty and that British rule of India is evil.
The prosecution rests, my lord.
Shenana Gusmao, after his capture, told the Indonesian army general, "We are not Indonesian, and we won't integrate there as citizens." He stood his grounds and was tried and sentenced for war crimes just because he defended the people of East Timor.
Janana was a trophy catch. Rather than being shot and dumped at sea, after posing for photos, word was sent immediately to the head of the Indonesian army in Jakarta. Armed forces arrived in Dili from Jakarta. Cameras rolling as he congratulates his troops and prepares to interrogate his old foe, Janana Gusmao. Sutrisno offers his catch one last chance to accept integration. Everyone in the room knows that a public statement from Janana could end the war, but his reply wasn't a helpful one.
To be a revolutionary is to be in exile, in jail, or in the grave. Dr. Lucas Ayaba factored this possibility from the creation of the AGOC and the ADF. He knew one day the French and their proxy Cameroun will come for him. No blinking is the motto. No matter the fate of leadership, the struggle continues. We will not blink. We will not forget. Over 30,000 of our citizens killed, 1,000 villages burned to the ground. We are not Fonchar. We are not Endele. This is the never again generation, and the world is about to be lectured on our rights to self-defense and self-determination by Lucas Joe Ayaba. Happy Independence Day, Amazonians.
Our people to keep the resistance on Mondays, to keep swimming on their journey to the promised land. My people, I am grateful to have been born during this time, and you can be rest assured that I'm not going to blink. I will not blink. There will be Amazonia, or there will be no Cameroun.
When they there for diaspora, I want to put their noise for house.
First month,
when they say we're not a fight,
22.
I want that move take place. And I'm here there for day. I there for leaving for battlefield. I'm not going to say we're for battlefield. But I there for leaving for battlefield as they always do. When mission day, when I know say party for down. Party day when I say
we are tired.